Hey everybody, I am Captain Tommy Scoville and you are on the lifeboat. Well, welcome to Saturday Night Boat. Today we are going to, figuratively speaking, let our hair down. We spend so much time on the lifeboat discussing things that are pretty heavy. Tonight we're going to screw around a little. And I've got some trivia questions from the 80s. I'm interested to see, since most of us were alive in the 80s, if not all of us, I am curious to know. I let my hair down. Let's blow this up a little bit. There we go. I let my hair down all day, every day. Awesome. I do the same. You just can't see it because it's in my ears. Okay. I got a trivia question for you. In the movie Back to the Future, what is the date that Marty McFly traveled to in the future? Was it A, October 21st, 2015, B, July 4th, 1985, C, December 31st, 1999, or D, September 3rd, 1984? Mr. Ray Ray says he needs a haircut. So the trivia is Back to the Future. We're looking for the date that was set in the time machine when they went forward. Was it October 21st, 2015? Was it July 4th, 85? December 31st of 99? Or was it September 3rd, 1984? Full of Hope says 84. Mr. Ray Ray comes in for 1999. We have Dennis with 1984, and M. Hunt is the first correct answer with October 21st, 2015. Good answer. That is correct. Marty McFly traveled back to October 21st, 2015. Okay, I've got another one for you. Which iconic TV show from the 80s featured a group of kids who embarked on adventures using a magical artifact called the Crystal? I am feeling a little on the sick side and hoping it's not the C plus math, because my brother just had it and I was around him. But I love you all. In case I can't say hi because I am cooking I am cooking Dad's job. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Looks like Seventh Son got that one correct as well. So, what iconic TV show featured a group of kids who embarked on adventures using a magical artifact called the Crystal? Was it A, the A-Team, B, the Smurfs, C, Fraggle Rock, or D, Dungeons and Dragons? All right, people, what is it? I'll be honest with you. I didn't know this one. Which just goes to show that I did not watch a lot of TV in the 80s, I guess. Lemmy comes in with Fraggle Rock. That was my guess as well. Charles McClellan says D&D, and Dennis Brace also says Dungeons and Dragons. M. Hunt goes with Fraggle Rock. The good answer on this one is Dungeons and Dragons. It featured a group of kids who were transported to a fantasy realm after riding a roller coaster and had to find their way back home while facing various challenges. Are you ready for another question? Prayers for Joanna W. Oh, Lord. Joanna W. is in the hospital with pneumonia. That's awful. Daniel Theobald says, nonsense. Do you mean you disagree that the Dungeons and Dragons is the incorrect answer, my friend? Is that what that nonsense is about? Please elucidate. I'm curious to know. I literally just watched Back to the Future 2 days ago and I still got it wrong. Well, that happens to the best of us, doesn't it? These things happen. He says, I disagree. So you do not believe that it was Dungeons and Dragons? Well, I have it. Hello, Piper Lynn. Piper Lynn, I don't remember welcoming you to the lifeboat before. We have done 870 some odd hours of live recovery stuff on the lifeboat. We do 2 hours of it a day. And today we are screwing around because we tend to talk about pretty heavy stuff most of the time. So we're doing a little light trivia today. Which famous pop star released the hit single Like a Prayer in 1989? Would it be Whitney Houston, Prince, Michael Jackson, or Madonna? Again, Like a Prayer, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Prince, or Whitney Houston. We all watch Back to the Future all the time and still missed it. Yes, it does happen. Piper Lynn says Madonna. Phases of the Moon by Miss V also says Madonna. Madonna seems to be the popular answer, and that is a good thing. Daniel Theobald agrees. He says Madonna, and it is, people. Face purple crying, face purple crying, face purple crying, face purple crying. Well then, Piper, let's talk. Tell me what's going on with you, because it's certainly more important than the trivia that we're doing. Tell me what's going on with you, Piper Lynn. Tommy, I think the boat may be burning. It looks to be on fire again. Thank you, my friend Monk. I really appreciate that. She sang it like a virgin. She may have. I have a feeling she wasn't. But do you know singing heals the vagus nerve? I've heard that chanting and singing can both. That's laughing. Good. That's a good thing. Get a bucket. We'll put the fire out. We will need multiple buckets. We'll do it in that bucket brigade thing that they used to actually put fires out with. Today is my 19th wedding anniversary, and I am out of here. Well, please do enjoy your day then, please. And happy anniversary. That is awesome. Let's see here. It is. It's Saturday night boat. Tim, good to see you. Really good to see you. Less chanting and singing and whistling heals. Yes, chanting, singing, and whistling. I didn't know whistling heals the vagus nerve as well. And the vagus nerve, people, runs your entire body. It's what causes us to go into fight or flight mode. It's what causes us to get that really uncomfortable feeling in the stomach. You can tell by the way he drives his boat. He's a woman's man. Oh, you're funny. That really is funny. That's good. I like the reference. All right, here's another one. I cannot use that one. I really can't. It's just too simple. If you didn't get this one, I would literally make you all walk the plank. What movie had Tom Cruise playing Maverick? Come on. I mean, there were some that shouldn't even be here. All right, here's another pop trivia question from the 80s. Okay. We all know the song Sweet Child of Mine by a band called Guns N' Roses. What year did Sweet Child of Mine come out? Was it 85, 86, 87, or 88? Sweet Child of Mine. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. All right, Ray. Oh, I just listened to a whistling meditation. Wow. Piper Lynn, how cool. So let's see. We have Miss Dragon says 87. Monk comes in at 88. Ultra Maggot agrees 88. Rick Curl says 88. You are all wrong except Miss Dragon. The song Sweet Child of Mine came out in 1987 and was on their debut album. And we all know the name of their debut album, right? Yeah. Okay, next up. What actor played the role of Indiana Jones in the film Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Was it Harrison Ford, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, or Tom Hanks? Scooby with the Doobie got it right, 87. And it was on Appetite for Destruction. Let's see. My first year being a bartender, says Lemmy. Lemmy comes in with Harrison Ford. Seven Sun says Ford. Miss Dragon says Ford. This one may have been as easy as the last one. Correct. The actor who played the role of Indiana Jones in the film Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is Harrison Ford. He portrayed the adventurous archaeologist in several Indiana Jones movies throughout the 80s and beyond. Well done. So let's see what we have left here. So, British band U2. Hello, Mitch Palacio. Good to see you. The band U2 released their album, The Joshua Tree, in what year? Was it 86, 87, 88, or 89? Joshua Tree by U2. Was it 86, 87, 88, or 89? And the winner is, M. Hunt said, thought they were Irish. Yeah, according to the trivia people, they have it listed as British. I thought they were Irish as well. We have an 86. We have an 89. We have another 86. 86 seems to be, Monk says 87. Not sure, but U2 is a great band, says Tim. Rick Smith says 86. Full of Hope says Irish, which, although is not the answer to the question, I think she's right. But they did have it listed as British. The correct answer on this one is going to go to Monk. Monk. It is 1987 for the album Joshua Tree. That's correct. The band released the Joshua Tree album in 1987. The album became a massive success and included hit songs like With or Without You, and I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Well done. Let's see what we got here. All right. Come on. Which movie featured the iconic line, I'll be back? And who said it? Come on. So everyone knows that's Ghostbusters. Vegan? Did I just see vegan? Where are we at? I thought I saw Militant Vegan. You know, I saw Militant Vegan today. I mean, no, I literally saw Militant Vegan. My brother Johnny sent me a picture of the two of them together, and he's a handsome dude. Militant Vegan. Terminator Arnold. Predator, says Mitch. Close, but it was Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger became, let's see, the iconic movie that featured the line, I'll be back, is the Terminator. This line became synonymous with Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of the Terminator character in the 1984 movie. Well done. And he had walked into the police station and was turned away and looked across the counter to the police officer to tell them, I'll be back. And he came back with a whole lot of hardware and shot up the police station. And T2, not a bad question, but it was the original Terminator. All right. Most people know that the legendary songwriter and musician Prince was the artist that released the album Purple Rain. What year in the 80s did Prince release Purple Rain? And this time, there's no A, B, C, or D, so there's a bunch. Hello, Coburn, good to see you. All these questions are before my time. The plank is that way. How dare you be young? Well, I may be able to work in some 90s trivia for you here in a little bit. We have an 84. Piper Lynn comes in with an 81. Ultra Maggot was 84. Crazy Brumfield says 86. Lemmy Audichus says 1985. Dennis N says 83. And Tim comes in with a solid sometimes in the 80s. There is a question mark after Miss Dragon's 85, so she doesn't seem 100% for. And Todd G comes in with the correct answer. That is correct, Todd G. The legendary singer-songwriter who released the album Purple Rain in 1984 is Prince. And not only was it a huge success, but it also went on to be the soundtrack of a film by the same name. And Ilea, good to see you, Ilea. She says, I'm sticking to 1987. You know, I remember much more of 1987. I think I really started sort of getting into pop culture at at that time. But who played Marty McFly in Back to the Future? Apparently, if you remove Back to the Future from 80s trivia, there is no 80s trivia. The year I graduated, Todd G says, I'm old, which is the correct answer, Todd G. We will take that. So which actor portrayed the character of Marty McFly in Back to the Future film trilogy? Was it A, Tom Cruise? Was it B, Johnny Depp? Was it C, Leonardo DiCaprio? Or was it D, Michael J. Fox? Charlie Mullins comes in. Piper Lynn says, my son was born in 87. Ultra Maggot says MJF, and he is correct as well. Ilea got it right. Charles McClellan got it right. Miss V has changed into, what? I missed that. Miss V has changed into a bald man. Right? What just happened? That's a trivia question, apparently. Miss V has changed into a bald man. Who am I? That's a really excellent question. Who are you? You are a bald man. It's a little odd. Miss Dragon says, Piper, my oldest was born in 88. High school graduation, 85 here. Yeah, you're not that much older than me then, but it was John Denver, says Ultra Maggot. It was a hell of a guess. Hell of a guess. All right. Let's see. Let's see if Natalie Portman. I'm not sure what the answer to the question, what answer Natalie Portman is to what question. I just like a random Natalie Portman shot out there. I liked Natalie Portman when she was really young and she played in that film about the assassin. I thought that was a great movie. The relationship between she and the assassin, I thought, was magical. All right, here we got another one. Can you name all 4 of the animated characters from the TV show Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? We are looking for all 4 of the turtles' names. All 4 of the turtles' names. Professional, that is the name of it. Well done, Piper Lynn. You know what's great? That wasn't even a trivia question, but Piper Lynn got it right anyway. Ninja Turtles, Ilea. We're looking for their names. John Doe says, not a chance. If my nephew was here, and he's a grown man, but Michelangelo, Donatello, we got 2 out of 4. We got 2 out of 4, and they are all Italian, which does make it a little bit easier. Oh, I may have stumped the boat. Negative. Ask me Beavis and Butthead questions. Yes. Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo. Lemmy's been there, done that. Yes. There we go. Crazy Brumfield gets them all. Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. And, of course, Vinny. He was a cousin. You didn't see him very often, but their cousin Vinny would come. All right, I can't back that up. There's no Vinny, but there should have been. With those 4, don't you think they should have had a cousin named Vinny? All Italian artists, says I'm Crazy Brumfield. And the reason for that apparently was because the little rodent that trained them was into Italian art or some such. I believe I got them first, says Ilea. I think you may have. All 4 anyway. Well done. Well done. Not it's tougher when you got to wrap off all 4 of anything. Just surely the typing it out, becomes a real thing. Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Vinny. Yeah, see, I think the Vinny thing should be there. Don't you think? Kind of just fits in. And if we made him a cousin, we could call him Ultra Maggot. Well played. Splinter was the little rodent. Pretty good with a stick, if I remember correctly. All right. What? This one is going to stump people. So there was a band that released a song called "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" in 1984. I will tell you the name of said band. It was Wham. And you got to go really heavy on the H when you say that. It was Wham! The question becomes, one of the members of Wham was quite famous. The other, not so much. Most people know that that George Michael was the famous member of Wham. Can you name his partner? Household name. Should be right on the tip of your tongue. I'll be shocked if anybody gets this without Googling it. Don't you Google it. No Google, no Bing. George Michael. Yes. What was his partner's name? I don't know his partner. Ilea, you and every other person on planet Earth. Ultramaggot says, crickets. Yeah. Suffice to say, he did not. Oh, Seventh Son says, yes. Very close anyway. It is Andrew Rigelli. It's Ridgeley. But I'm going to give that to you because that was pretty close. Rick Smith says, nope. Yeah, no, the other guy. Well played, Charles. That's what I've always referred to him as. Spanx Calhoun, you cheater. There is no chance that my boy knew who that was. You are working the search engine. All right, I've got another one for you. Benny and the Jets. That one would be Sir Elton John. Hey, kids, shake it loose together. The spotlight's hitting something that's been known to change the weather. Which toy line from the 80s featured small, colorful, and scented characters that became collectible items? Would that be A, Transformers, B, My Little Pony, C, Cabbage Patch Kids, or D, Care Bears? Spanx says the lack of faith is astounding. No, I just know who you are. I hope you all have an amazing chat. I'm going to go for an evening nature walk. Much love and many blessings to you all. And we will see you on Monday. Lady Spellbreaker is going to be on our Monday evening show where she's going to be talking to us about some important stuff in sobriety. We have, the scented thing threw me off. However, Mitch comes in with C, Cabbage Patch. Crazy Brumfield says Care Bears. That was my guess, by the way, and I was wrong. My Little Pony, not correct. Nope, not My Little Ponies. Mr. Ray Ray, Revenge of the Nerds was filmed over your left shoulder. My left shoulder? Okay. At the red-looking building in the background. What place is it? Huh. Revenge of the Nerds. Well, let's see. I mean, I know the school that they went to, but it couldn't really be the school that they went to. So it was Cabbage Patch Kids. I did not know that Cabbage Patch Kids were scented. Yes, Cabbage Crotch dolls smelled like baby powder. Who was a fan of the Police band, not the real Police? Well, I preferred the band to the real Police, to be sure. Okay, you say over my left shoulder. So let me move this over this way because I'm going to have to do this. So this red building here, right? I feel like a person who's doing the weather. We're going to have this high pressure thing that's coming out from the east, and right about there, right there. I'm going to guess that is the University of Tucson, University of Arizona, Tucson. Do they smell like cabbage? Piper, I think if they smelled like cabbage, they probably would not have been as popular. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of cabbage, as the smell of it anyway. But that's pretty damn funny. Oh, that really is funny. Yeah, Mr. Ray Ray says, yeah. Okay. Yes, it was, the Police would have been Stu, right? No, the Police were Sting. I was never really a big fan, but I feel like I may have heard the name, and if so. Oh, man. That really is driving me nuts, because I did know them. I definitely knew them at one time. All right. So, Let's go back to the future since all 80s trivia is back to the future questions. Here's a good one. There was a flying car in the 80s. Before you get crazy on the DeLorean thing, we all know it's a DeLorean. But what year model was the DeLorean from Back to the Future? Now, they didn't make a ton of year models of DeLorean. They went out of business on account of a entrapment bid. Andy Summers, there you go. Stuart Copeland, that was the one that I was wrestling for and didn't see. John Doe says it's a 1979 DeLorean. There's the guess. We have a 75 DeLorean from Piper Lynn. And Rip Curl Readiness says it's an 87. I've got a no clue from Ultra Maggot. And 83, I believe, from M. Hunt. 82 says Conky Dong. Mr. Ray Ray says 1980. And Charlie Mullins guesses correctly, or perhaps he knew. But the iconic film franchise that featured the time-traveling DeLorean, it was a modified time-traveling machine modified by Dr. Emmett Brown. Played a central role in the trilogy starring Michael J. Fox. It was a 1981 DeLorean DMC-12 model. Its distinctive stainless steel body and gull-wing doors became iconic symbols of the film franchise. That car, the funny thing about that car is when he gets in there, he has to hit how fast in order for the flux capacitor to kick in. Do we all remember how fast the car had to be going in order for the flux capacitor to kick in? 1.2 gigawatts, or gigawatts, I mean, well done. I like the scientist, yeah. I have driven one too. They handle like a Volkswagen bus. The 88 miles an hour, says Virginia. 86 miles an hour, says Ilea. We have another 88 and another 88. I believe it was 88. I don't have that written down here. But the reason I find it funny is that a DeLorean has a real struggle getting to 80 miles an hour. I love you too, Flamin' Jackson. It's good to see you, man. I'm glad that you're here. It is next to impossible to get a DeLorean to go that fast. The reason is, number one, it's made of stainless steel, right? So it's a very, very heavy car. And the engine in that thing was made by Renault. And it was an engine that put out very, very little horsepower. The vast majority of those DeLorean, the DMC is DeLorean motor car. That's the emblem you see on the front grille. It's a D facing in one direction and a D facing the other. So it looks like a C with an M and then a D, right? So, but the DeLorean motor car 12 model had a 6-cylinder engine without enough power to get that thing going. Last weekend, I had a Back to the Future moment. I'm not sure what a Back to the Future moment is. Oh, did you have to do the, hello, McFly? Hello. I remember Renault, says I'm crazy, Brumfield. They made good race cars. They made really, really horrible regular cars. They did make the Le Car, the Renault Le Car, which was always fun to see the LECAR on the side. A gigawatt is how much power you get if you hook up wires to stripper poles. I did not know this. See, you learn something new every day. Thank you, Rip. A trivia master in his own right. Which American sitcom featured a group of friends living in Manhattan and became known for its iconic coffee shop hangout spot? Was it A, Cheers? Was it B, Seinfeld? Was it C, Friends? Or was it D, The Golden Girls? I think it was a 2.85 V6. It was in a tank of a car, and it was in the back. It's not a really great setup, that car. It really wasn't, which is why it didn't stay in business. That and the John DeLorean, the owner of the company, got caught trying to sell a kilo of cocaine to an undercover cop. And then all charges were dropped, but by then the DeLorean Motor Company was defunct. He was entrapped horrendously. Miss Dragon says Friends. No, sorry, it's the Golden Girls. I can't back that up. It is Friends. And the gentleman that produced that movie actually bought the house that I grew up in. When we got ready to move, um, he was the one that bought it. All right, let's do another one. Which iconic musician performed the halftime show during the Super Bowl? Let's see here. 27. I did that in Roman numerals. Can somebody give me a high five? I read that in Roman numerals, or I have it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 27. In 1983, featuring memorable renditions of Billie Jean, Black or White, and Heal the World. If you do not know this one, you were not alive in 1980s. I was in the pool, says Shimmy DeWabi. Man, I wish I was in the pool, but the day is coming. Cheers made me want to fall asleep every night. Sometimes it's nice to go where everybody. Well done, Charlie. Well done, Mitch. Well done, Seventh Son. See, look at this. Mikey. Flamey Jackson gets it. Piper Lynn gets it. Miss Dragon gets it. Everybody got that one. Ultra Maggot got that one. I think even Spanx Calhoun got that one, and he didn't even have to cheat. I can't back that up. He might have cheated. But I'm sure even Calhoun got that. Okay, let's see here. All right. Which iconic fantasy film, directed by Jim Henson, features a young girl named Sarah who must rescue her baby from the Goblin King? Would that be A, The Never-Ending Story, B, The Labyrinth, C, The Dark Crystal, or D, Willow? Once again, a Jim Henson directed film about a girl named Sarah who must rescue her baby brother from the Goblin King. Would that be A, The Never-Ending Story, B, The Labyrinth? Ilea says Labyrinth, and I kind of have a feeling she knows what she's talking about. The Life of Dennis Brace says Tom Hanks. I'm going to go with him. Labyrinth, B, Labyrinth. Seems to be, Seventh Son comes in with Dark Crystal. So does Piper Lynn. Labyrinth with David Bowie. The correct answer is The Labyrinth. The film The Labyrinth, directed by Jim Henson, features a young girl named Sarah, played by Jennifer Connelly. Oh, Jennifer Connelly is great. Huge Jennifer Connelly fan. Who must navigate a mystical labyrinth and rescue her baby brother from the Goblin King, played by David Bowie. You know what? I didn't know. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but I remember seeing what Bowie looked like. I can see his face in my head. Jim Henson was a puppeteer. He's the puppeteer that brought you The Muppets. Okay, you know what? This one's so easy we can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. It's far too simple, so we're going in for another one. By the way, Revenge of the Nerds, great film. It's a good fantasy movie. Ziggy Stardust, that's right. I don't believe Bowie is dead, says Piper Lynn. I like where this is going. I would be it's so nice to be back in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? Eddie Murphy did a great rendition of that on Saturday Night Live called Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. And it went something, a slightly different song in the beginning. I think he's saying, so come on over for some Coke or some smoke. You bring the stash because Robinson's broke. Won't you be by? Won't you be by? Won't you be my neighbor? It was a Saturday Night Live sketch. Pretty funny stuff. Which iconic video game character made his debut in the game Super Mario Brothers in 1985? Was it Sonic the Hedgehog, B, Mega Man, C, Donkey Kong, or D, Mario? Hello, Uncle Bill. Ilea says Mario, and she came in quick on the draw. You know, the thing about this one is, It is Mario. He was created by Shigeru Miyamoto, and it became Nintendo's most recognizable character and went on to star in numerous successful games and spin offs. Well done. Here's my thing. Wasn't he in Donkey Kong before he was in anything else? I thought Donkey Kong was wasn't it Mario that was chasing the girl in, I don't know. Perhaps I am wrong. But I always felt like Mario appeared first in Donkey Kong, but not really. I loved Duck Hunt. You were probably one of those that cheated, though, and put the gun right up next to the screen. He created Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, etc. KD, he did all of that? It's me, Mario, says Piper Lynn. I played Mario on a 13-inch TV. I did too in college. My freshman year in college, we got a Nintendo game, and I think it probably caused most of us, our grade point average, to drop at least one full. Oh no, Uncle Bill. I think you mean Mr. Bill, but that's an excellent reference. See that? You start doing 80s stuff, and Seventh Son comes out of the woodworks. I definitely cheated. I was 8 when we got our first Nintendo. 8? 8? Good Lord. Luigi? Luigi? No Luigi Mario. See, Tommy Bird, we got it. Conky would know these. I believe him. I believe him too. He seems... Charles, do you remember Petticoat Junction? There's Uncle Joe. He's looking kind of slow at the junction. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. This is a good one. What British band, and we're going to have to take their word for it because they keep saying that British. I was 8 in 1988. You're not allowed to talk for the rest of the day, Ilea. Just for making me feel that much older. How dare you? Well, I was a freshman in college in 88, but I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Charles McClellan got my reference. There's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. All right. So, which British band released the album The Final Countdown in 1986? Was it Bon Jovi? Was it Europe? Was it Queen? Or was it the Popo? The Police? Tommy Bird says, I was 6 in 1988. Would anyone else like to make the rest of us feel a little bit older? Do we have somebody that was 2 in 1988? Piper Lynn comes in quick with Europe. Miss V agrees. For some reason, she's a bald man, but she agrees. And Monk says, toot toot, which I'm going to give you credit for. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm going to give you credit for that. The correct answer would be B. Europe. Got a funny story for you. I'll use the guy's first name because no one, Flamin' Jackson, has done it. He has made us feel just a little. No, I was going to say Flamin' Jackson really rubbed it in by saying he was 1 in 1988, but Mitch Palacio says, I was born in 1988. I have a little salt here if you'd like to, a little wound, if you'd like to rub a little salt into it, that would work out just beautifully. Tommy, that's Ivan Moody. Oh, I thought you cut your hair. It really doesn't resemble you much, so that makes more sense. Mr. Ray Ray was 10 in 1988. Okay, so are we ready for another silly 1980s trivia question? I have a feeling we are. Which iconic TV show featured a group of kids who became friends whilst solving mysteries in their small town, often encountering supernatural elements? A. Stranger Things. B. The X-Files. C. Twin Peaks. Or Ruh-Roh. D. Scooby-Doo. I'm lagging. Todd G says all a bunch of young punks. John says it was Stranger Things. We have a Scooby Doo. We have another Scooby Doo. We have a Twin Peaks. I'm going Scooby on this. Let's check. By the way, I don't have the correct answers to these until I actually enter it in to see if I'm correct. The iconic TV show that featured a group of kids who became friends while solving mysteries in their small town, often encountering supernatural elements, is D. Scooby Doo. The show has been loved by generations and has become a classic in the realm of animated mystery solving adventures. Do you think there's a lot of animated mystery solving adventures? Well done. Okay, so here's the deal. Spanx Calhoun was an absolute Scooby Doo nut when he was a kid. I was doing drugs, not watching TV. Piper Lind, it's an excellent defense. Not supposed to be the old person recovery club anyway. Remember? However, 41 isn't exactly what I'd call young people. No, truthfully, there's nobody young on the lifeboat. I mean, I shouldn't say that. We've got some lurkers. We've got some actually really, really young lurkers these days because they're not allowed to comment. They're in a house, but we have some really young ones now. Here's the deal, is what the cops say. You know what? I got that from Tommy Boy. It was a joke that my brother and I started saying after the first time we saw the movie Tommy Boy, when he's doing the presentation, and his dad said, "I'll tell you what, you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a bull's backside, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it." Well, Tommy tries to deliver that same line while trying to sell brake pads, and he says to the guy, "I'll tell you what, you can get a good look at a butcher by sticking your head up a T-bone." And the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "No, I mean, you can get a good look at a butcher's ass by sticking your head up a bull's." And he just continues to screw it up. And he goes, "Okay, here's the deal." And right after he says it, the guy says to him, "You have derailed." Well, that scene was something that just absolutely slayed my brother Johnny and I. So that's where we got the "here's the deal" thing. Stranger Things wasn't around in the 1980s. So, which iconic dance film was released in 1987 and starred Patrick the Great Swazul Swayze and Jennifer Grey? Great movie. Was it Footloose? Was it Flashdance? Was it Dirty Dancing? Or was it Fame? Ilea, you have been agreed with by the bald Miss V, who says, no, it was not around in the 80s. And I have a feeling Rip Curl thinks it was Clean Dancing. Dirty D, says Mr. Ray Ray. I thought that was pretty funny too. Miss V says, that's funny, Rip. Clean Dancing. I like it. Monk. What did I get from Monk? Where are you, Monk? Roadhouse. Best line from Roadhouse. Can we all agree? What is the best line? Well, Piper Lynn's got the best line from Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Yes, her name was Baby in the movie. Yep. And then she got a nose job and never worked again. Todd G, that's me, says Roadhouse, one of my favorites. Okay, then. What is the best line from the movie Roadhouse? I'll give you a hint. Spanx Calhoun chimes in with a Funny Farm reference. Atta boy. Okay, so in the movie Roadhouse, I'll give you a hint. The great Swazul goes to the doctor to get some stitches after his first bar fight, and she is holding his medical file. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She played Ferris's sister. It's one of their earliest films. Piper Lynn says, I know this. So he goes in to see the doctor, and the doctor, an attractive blonde woman, has a thick file of all of his medical stuff. And she says, you're a real glutton for punishment, aren't you? And he says, what? Actually, what she said was, you must love pain. And he responds with the greatest of all Hollywood writing. Opinions don't count. I like it. Dalton, if somebody gets in your face and calls you, yep, I want you to be nice. A good line. But the best line in the entire film is pain don't hurt. I'm telling you, come on, man. Who wrote that? Can you imagine the people in Hollywood as they were jotting that down on a piece of paper and said, at that point, we want him to say, pain don't hurt. Her dad was a doctor that helped out the pregnant girl. Yes. I was thinking of Footloose. Jeez. Or else I would have said Dirty Dancing. Great film. Funny film. Well, I mean, I find it a funny film. I think the line, nobody puts baby in a corner, was just absolutely awesome. The movie gained immense popularity for its memorable dancing sequences and the romantic story between the characters of Johnny and Baby. Well done. Well done. Top shelf, top shelf. Sam Elliott. Pain don't hurt. Oh, man, I was in a movie theater. I saw that in a movie theater. And I was with my friend Jason and my friend Lurch. And when the pain don't hurt line came out, oh, we were just dying. I said, that is good stuff. Which famous pop artist released the album I'm Not Even Doing This? It's absolutely embarrassing. Does anybody here know who did the film, the album Thriller? I thought you might. So we'll just let that one slide because apparently they're assuming that these are just people guessing. They can't possibly think somebody lived through the 80s and doesn't know that Michael Jackson. Well, it was the 80s, Shimmy. There was a lot of subplots that were... Which American sitcom featured a group of teenagers navigating their way through high school and became known for its memorable theme song, As Days Go By? Would it be The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? That's A. B. Saved by the Bell? C. Full House? Or D. Family Matters? The music video Thriller was a short film. I think it was 16 minutes, or maybe it was even longer than that. It was a long, great video too. It just was absolutely excellent. Saved by the Bell, says Ilea. And she's got a lot of people backing that up. Saved by the Bell. You know, I'm going to be very honest with you. I missed Saved by the Bell. I never ever watched that television show growing up. I don't think I saw one of them. But years later, people would put them on like almost as shtick, to flash back and watch things. And I ended up watching it at a much, when I was considerably older. And sadly, I didn't start watching until right before Screech died. So I didn't even really get to really dig the guy for any length of time. Let's see if all of you are right. Saved by the Bell. And then... No, the correct answer is D. Family Matters featured a group of teenagers navigating their way through high school, and it became known for its memorable theme song, As Days Go By. The show primarily revolved around the Winslow family and their neighbor, Steve Urkel. Well done. If you'd like to continue, then give me a thumbs up. So, we were all thinking Saved by the Bell, but it was Urkel. Urkel drove a little BMW three-wheeled, those little mini cars that BMW had, which, that's really a cool little ride for high school, even if it only goes like 20 miles an hour. The 80s weren't as politically correct as today. I grew up with Archie Bunker in the 70s. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs that played the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. I talked to my mom about that show. You could not make that show today. Anybody that had anything to do with anything would be canceled. Piper Lynn gets an award for saying the smartest thing uttered today on the lifeboat. And since we're talking 80s trivia, there's a lot of intelligent things. That is not what Family Matters was about. It was about Steve Urkel and cheese. Oh, that's funny. But Piper Lynn says Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour, the all-time best. And I'm sorry, but I am giving her the lifeboat participation trophy for absolutely believing that that is the greatest of all things ever put on TV for kids or adults. The greatest thing about the Roadrunner Hour was I could put my son on the couch with me when he was a kid, and I could put on that, either that or Scooby-Doo, and that we could sit down and watch those cartoons, and I was having just as much fun as he was. Charles McClellan says, yabba dabba doo, of course, making reference to the town of Bedrock, a page right out of history. Which iconic film featured the line, say hello to my little friend? Would it be A, Goodfellas, B, The Godfather, C, Scarface, or D, Rocky 3? Edith. MASH was great, no question. I didn't like the MASH where the helicopter went down. It bummed me out. Yeah, that's right. Bugs Bunny was not originally made for kids. It was they were on before films, and there was a lot of political stuff in there. And Scarface. A lot of people are weighing in with Scarface because it is Scarface. ZW, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Piper Lynn says, it makes me laugh thinking how hard my mom laughed, right? My grandfather was a huge, huge fan of it. Thank you, James Novak. He agrees. Scarface it is. You know what's really funny is we think of Scarface as this absolute classic film, but they crucified that film when it came out. They talked about how bad how bad Pacino's acting was, and how they had no idea what accent he was doing because it certainly wasn't Cuban. Like if you read the reviews of Scarface, it is absolutely torn apart. But it went on to be a huge, huge success. The iconic film that featured the line, say hello to my little friend, starred Al Pacino as a Cuban immigrant who becomes a powerful drug lord. The movie, directed by Brian De Palma, has become a cult classic and is known for its intense performances and memorable quotes. And let's be really honest, there is just a pinch of violence and drug use. I'm going to recommend at least PG-13. My grandfather was a huge I Love Lucy fan, so I grew up watching that too. Man, you could not go wrong watching I Love Lucy. Green Acres. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. I adore a penthouse view. I love you, darling, but give me Park Avenue. All right. Which American band released the album Back in Black in 1980, featuring hits like Hell's Bells and You Shook Me All Night Long? Exit. Stage left even. Oh, Crazy Cat with a great reference. Great reference. Okay, I think we can all agree that's AC/DC. Simply too easy. But we have got onto something here that I like, and it's a good way to end. People started popping in here with, like, the Pink Panther says Crazy Cat. Awesome. Beverly Hillbillies. The Munsters. Dun, 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 Green Acres was great. I loved Green Acres. The Beverly Hillbillies was great. But Get Smart was one of the all-time great shows. When I was growing up, my dad used to think that was just one of the funniest things ever. And we would, Ant the Aardvark. Well done, Miss Dragon. My grandpa absolutely loved MASH. Everyday MASH marathon over and over. Sadly, he had Alzheimer's. I'm not sure if he ever realized he watched any reruns at all. You know, Tommy, that is sad. But you know what? I'm glad that you have the memories of it. It's I absolutely remember watching television shows with my grandparents. 80s commercials. You know what? I sometimes go on. The Aardvark sounds exactly like Jackie Mason. I think he might have done it if he didn't. Pow, bam, zing. Lemmy, of course, making reference to the blue Aardvark is Bernie Sanders. Oh, he does sound like Bernie Sanders. Fast forward to 2023. Who loves saying MVP? Yeah, the 80s commercials. I go on YouTube and just look them up. You can go on like right here on the platform you're on. If you look up commercials from the 80s, you'll get a whole montage. I got a funny story for you about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders started his political career as the mayor of the city of Burlington, Vermont, right? And I'm a Vermonter. I grew up in Vermont. He then went on from there, being the first socialist mayor in America. Okay, I'm sorry. So the reason I bring that up is he he was then replaced by he many moons later he ends up going to Congress, right, and getting a much bigger job. Well, the guy that graduated number one in my high school now has the job of the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, and he is probably agreed, Todd G. And my friend will probably go the same route and end up becoming a bigger politician. And when he does, the lifeboat is going to go to Congress and say, "All right, Mo, you and I need to talk," because his name is Moreau, but we called him Mo, and I'm actually very, very good friends with him, or was for a long time. Sorry. Three Stooges. Yep. Also a huge thing. Weight loss candy. There's where the 80s were over. That's when you knew the 80s was over. Weight loss candy. I even have memories of my great grandparents. At one time, there were 5 generations, all the live in the family. That's awesome. Beavis and Butthead, Chico, and the Man. Yeah, Three Stooges were great. My favorite is when they do they all go into the law firm and they're working at Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I could call my father on the phone and just say Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. That's all I had to tell him. All right, peeps. And on that note, I shall call this a day. We are at the top of the hour. This was fun. I think we're going to do something silly on Saturdays. We're going to call it Saturday Night Boat. It's going to be the time where we can decompress, not talk about anything that's heavy, and just see if we can't get some laughs. I've really, really enjoyed this. That was a fun time. I really, really had fun with you guys. And Lurch, yeah, my best friend growing up, we called Lurch because of his resemblance to Lurch. Lifeboat bingo? It's a possibility. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. This is a cat in a basket. That was fun, Ilea. Thank you. I really had fun too. A shout out to Full of Hope. This was her idea on the morning video to let our hairs down and just have a good time on the boat. And she saw the potential of it maybe becoming a regular thing. And you know what? I think it probably should be. We talk about some heavy stuff. You rang. Squirrel Nut Zip Zip. He's a good girl. Such a great cat. Loves that basket. So proud of you all, says Flamin' Jackson, as am I. Good night, everybody. Stay the course. Keep doing what you're doing, right? Sobriety beats the alternative. It really does. So I will be seeing each and every one of you tomorrow on the lifeboat. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. Good night.